1 2 testing. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2. All right. Can everybody hear me? Hello. What's going on? How was your Christmas? It was good. Spend it with my family. A very nice Christmas for me. How about you guys? Do we want to? I don't know what you mean, mate. I don't know what you mean. All right, so quite a red day for me, -3R. And that hasn't happened in about 3 months. So I am wife had to work so quiet. Yeah, all good. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Mina. Yeah. So because I am down 3R today, I am not going to actively trade the U.S. Open, but I'm looking at a few setups. Right now, if we look at hello ABOB. If we look at U.S. equities, to me, there's absolutely no direction in the S&P 500. We look at the Dow, same thing, no direction on the Dow. And if we look at the Nasdaq, where's the Nasdaq? Here it is. Well, kind of the same thing, very non-directional, super choppy. So I'm going to wait for the open, to have a look at the volume and to see what we can do. Now, on the Nasdaq side, we have a. It's not a clear break of the highs. This is what I do not like about this. As is, right? We got the sweep of the Asian session highs on London pre-market, right? And then price just chopped around, right, within the Asian session range. Now price is above the daily highs. So what I would want to see on the Nasdaq at the open is a break of the pre-market highs, right? A clean break of the pre-market highs would give me a bullish bias for the day, and I would look, for longs on a pullback. My oil trade last week played out. Yeah, I know, but I got stopped out. I got stopped out. USD CAD. I'm not trading the USD CAD. I don't trade the USD CAD. I only trade the US dollar and the Japanese yen. So if I were to trade the US dollar, Canadian dollar, it would be a US dollar play. And for US dollar plays, it's not my favorite instrument, right? So let's wait for the open, and yeah. Right now we are currently short the pound yen with the swing trading group. This is basically the setup. I'm going to show you the setup on the pound yen with the swing trading group. So we're playing the pullback towards this massive, massive 50-minute imbalance, right? This is what we're playing with the swing trading group. Now, because of how price traded today, in the sense that we got a mitigation, right? But also because we got the break of the daily highs, I am going to manage this trade very aggressively, in the sense that if price comes above 181.82, yeah, 181.82, about these lows, I'm gonna close the trade for a very tiny profit, almost a break even. So you send third signal for your USD road sell limit, but it look sell stop. I don't use stop orders, so no, it was a sell limit. Also got stopped out on that. So basically, what I was doing on the Euro US dollar, right? If we look at the 1 minute chart, um, after after the break of the London session highs right here, and the break of these lows, right? I place a sell limit here at this level, and I got stopped out. Compliments of the season. Well, compliments of the season to you too. Wow. So very, very bearish pre-market. Right. So let's go back to the 3 minute chart, and yeah, let's have a look at what's going on. We're 3 minutes away until the market opens, and we did have, I think, no, we don't have any data today. Big data. So let's wait. Let's wait for for the open, and let's see what the Nasdaq does. Right. I'm not going to place a buy limit. Just before the open. That will be front running the open, and that is absolutely burning money. So I'm going to wait and see what happens. Right now, it's looking very bearish. I mean, we could in fact see a sweep of these lows, since we have kind of equal lows all throughout the Asian session and the London session. So we could in fact see a sweep of the lows, and then maybe a setup to go long on the Nasdaq. This is good. I don't know, ABOB. I mean, I don't know. Let me check. It was a sell limit, mate. It was a sell limit. It was a sell limit. My sell limit was at 1058. So what I just told you right here, at this level, here's where my sell limit was. I placed the sell limit when price was trading at this low, so it was in fact a sell limit, not a sell stop. All right, 1 minute until the market opens. All right. So what we're looking at is a possible sweep of the lows. Wow, immediately bullish. All right, so let's wait and see what happens. We're looking for a possible sweep of the London session lows, right? To look for buys. Let's have a look at the S&P 500 and gold. So the S&P 500. Let's have a look at the 3-minute chart on the S&P 500. Equal lows, so this is looking very bearish. Wow, so very, very bullish open for the Nasdaq. Very bullish open for the Nasdaq. Absolutely nothing to do here. So I'll look at the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is sweeping with the lows, so maybe here is where we can actually get that buy setup. The thing is this: if you look at this, if you look at this lows, right? This particular low right here. Now, all throughout the Asian session, the London session, and pre-market New York, we have equal lows. So, in my opinion, placing a buy limit here around this level, I'm eyeballing it, right? On a pullback is not a good setup because there's a ton of liquidity here. So I am going to look for a possible long on a sweep of these lows. That is actually the play. But I mean, I really don't have a setup. Just now. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's look at the market structure. Here's the, structured lows, of course. Now, structured low. Let's have a look at this. The thing is that I hate my stop loss positioning on this possible long on the Nasdaq. Let's have a look at the risk to reward ratio. I mean, yeah, I just hate the risk to reward ratio here. Having an I mean, this is the Dow, and the Dow did exactly what I'm looking for on the Nasdaq as a setup. So, very possibly, yeah. I mean, it's looking like a 4R, possible 4R long on the Nasdaq. Quite an aggressive entry, if you ask me. Yep, looking bullish. I don't know if you're going to get that pullback and that sweep of the lows, but definitely won't be, playing any. I'm sorry, I won't be playing any long positions unless price sweeps this lows. Hmm. Yeah. So I'm gonna wait for this. I'm going to wait for this setup for 5-10 minutes. If we go to the 1 minute chart, you know, this is what happens. Front running the open is just too risky, right? This is just too risky. Um, yeah. What do you guys think about this possible setup long on the Nasdaq? Yeah. Also, I am monitoring the Japanese yen since I am long the Japanese yen with the swing trading group, right? So, like I told you, if price, I'm actually going to move my stop losses to break even on this one. Um, yeah, the Japanese yen is looking super weak. So, should the Japanese yen break with the lows, the pound yen is going to break with the highs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this swing trade. Yeah, it's not optimal at all. Actually, I'm not going to close it. I'm just going to move my stop losses to break even. You know, I wouldn't move my stop losses to break even this fast normally, but yeah, I'm down 3R today, so I will do that. And also because the Japanese yen is looking very, very, very sketchy for a long. All right, so let me just point this out. All right, cool. So I'm at break even on my GJ shorts, and let's continue to look at this possible Nasdaq long. Hmm. I think shorts seem possible, though via US 100. I mean, I am not going to place a short position on such a strong market. Just have a look at this, right? Let's go to the 15-minute chart. I'm going to delete this right? This was I mean, a week ago, right? This move to the downside. This very bearish move was a week ago, and if you notice, price has just, you know, um, traded up and completely erased those losses and printed new highs. So this market is super bullish, and counter trend trading U.S. equities is just a big no for me. So I'm looking for longs. And yes, I need those lows to get swept. So let's wait for that, mates. I don't know if it's going to happen, but just have a look at this. I mean, those are equal lows all throughout today's trading sessions. So there's a ton of liquidity here. And when I talk about liquidity, I'm talking about the stop losses, the sell stops on these buy positions, right? These are, weak players in the market trying to get long on the break of these highs. Of course, that the first thing that you're taught when you come to trading is that whenever price breaks with a level, in this case resistance, right, or when price breaks with the highs, just wait for price to retest those highs and get long. And as you can see, we have a ton of buying pressure here, but without real volume, without real strength, right? So this is a ton of liquidity, because where are these weak players in the market placing their stop losses? They're not going to place their stop losses below these lows or below the structured low. Of course not. They're going to place their stop losses a few ticks, below their entry, because placing their stop losses below the structured low would be too wide. And that is what I always look for my entries, right? I look for this weak players in the market, this liquidity, right? And normally I play inefficiencies, right? In this case, I would be playing a sell side inefficiency or a buy side imbalance, right? Or a gap, whatever you want to call it, is the same, but there's none. There is none. So that's why I am unsure of where to place my possible buy limits, right? Because normally, let me show you. Normally, what I would do, right? Normally, what I would do is I would look for this, right? This is a clear imbalance, right? A buy side imbalance, or a clear inefficiency, a sell side inefficiency, or a clear gap. It is the same thing, right? And what I normally do is I look for everything that I just told you, right? A break of the structure, right? Weak players in the market are creating liquidity. Liquidity needs to be just above the inefficiency that I'm going to be playing as my entry. And yeah, that's where I normally place my, in this case, buy limits. But right now, there is absolutely none. There are no inefficiencies here, imbalances, gaps, whatever you want to call it, right? There's none. So that's why I am um, unsure of where I should place this possible buy limits. This I mean, it has been a while since I've seen such a clear level, that very likely is going to get swept or it's going to get liquidated, before the actual bullish move. Because if you look at the structure in this market, again, let's go to a 10-minute chart. If you look at the structure of this market, it's quite bullish, right? We have breaks of the structure, breaks of the structure, break of the structure. And again, here, this is not a break of the structure, right? This is very weak. But the structure in this market is very, very bullish. So, where should I place this? That is the question, my friends. That is the question. That is the actual question. Can't you trade the imbalance below? At what level? I don't see one. I don't see. I don't see an imbalance below. Oh, you mean which one? This gap or this one right here? I mean, that's a good question. I don't do that, right? I don't do that. And the main reason is because what I'm looking for is a continuation trade, right? I'm looking for a continuation trade. So, um, if I were to play this gap right here, right? That would mean that I would need price to come all the way down here, right? But if you look at the structure in this market, if price comes all the way down to this imbalance, and I blindly place buy limits here, right? The probability of success of this particular setup is not very high because, in fact, I would be trading the buy side on a bearish reversal, and I wouldn't be trading the buy side on a bearish pullback, right? Because if price comes all the way down to this level, for example, the structure or the bullish structure that I am playing or that I want to play, right, would be absolutely broken with. So, yeah, and that is what the data shows me, right? Aggressive pullbacks are very likely to be just reversals. So, yeah. And looking at U.S. equities, between the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, um, yeah, the Nasdaq yields the best setup, but I'm still undecided. I don't think. I don't know. Uh, hmm So I got stopped out of break even on my pound yen shorts. The Japanese yen looks very bearish. I don't want to be long. I don't want to be long the Japanese yen. All right. Let's have a look at this possible Nasdaq. Hmm. All right, here's where I'm gonna show you the hold on, 0.5%. I'm gonna show you my buy limit level in just a second. and yeah, this yields around a 3R, 2.8R. This is the thing. I mean, where are we? Yeah, all-time highs. So, all right, I'm going to place these buy limits, and I'm gonna send this to my VIPs, and I'll be right with you. So these are the levels that I am looking to get in long on the Nasdaq. hmm hmm Yeah. So basically, this is no setups on gold. It looks bullish. No, I'm not trading gold today. The main reason I'm not trading gold is because of this. Very non-directional, mate. Super non-directional. These kind of days with the London session, sweeping the Asian session highs, and then the lows, and then coming back towards the range is absolutely non-directional, and yeah, there's no setup. All right, so here on the 5-minute chart on the Nasdaq, this is where I am looking to enter right here. hmm So 2.8R. So if price breaks with the New York session highs, I am going to keep my buy limits on the Nasdaq, and I'll just move my targets higher towards the new daily highs. But this is a phenomenal setup on a liquidity sweep setup. Right, so my entry is here at this level. Here's my entry at this level. So, just look at your chart because, this is the US 100. I am trading the NAS 100, so CFDs are different from broker to broker, and pricing on those CFDs are different from broker to broker too. So, be careful with that. Right. Other than that, I mean, yeah, the US dollar is really crashing. Yeah. Yeah, so I got stopped out of break even on this GJ short, with the swing trading group. You know, Wells price was still within this, my point of interest. I was okay. It wasn't a particular A plus setup in the sense that, we had this break of the highs. But, looking at the 10, 50 minute chart, which is the one that I look for, or when I am looking at swing setups, yeah, I mean, this candle really close above this high, so it was a break of the structure. Yeah, we got the push lower, but the immediate structure was still bullish. There was not a market structure shift. The setup was not optimal, so that's why I immediately moved my stop losses to break even. And as you can see, what price broke with the highs. If I hadn't done this, I would be on a drawdown on that trade. So yeah, I would have done that either way if I were down, if I were up on the day too. So all right, so I'm going to just wait for this possible Nasdaq long. Again, this is looking phenomenal. Setup wise, I would really like a break of the New York session highs before the pullback towards my point of interest. And I think we're going to get it. I really think we're going to get it. There's a ton of sellers trapped here. Possibly we're going to see price liquidate those positions before coming lower and continuing higher. That's the main idea that I have for the Nasdaq today. Yeah. And the Japanese yen breaking with the lows right now. Yeah. Both the Japanese yen and the US dollar super weak today. Yeah. Those two particular uh, Euro USD shorts that I had were actually US dollar long plays. You know, the second one, I got stopped out on both of them, right? But the second one was a much better setup than the first one. It happens, right? It happens. It hadn't happened to me in a fucking while, you know, to have three straight losses, but it's fine. There you go. A break off the New York session highs on the Nasdaq. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. S&P 500 still within the range, super non-directional, and the Dow yield that liquidity sweep setup that I am looking for on the Nasdaq. Even though there was no setup here because there were no equal lows, right? If you notice here, if we look at this particular low, right, those lows were already swept, right? Price already broke with those lows. So unlike on the Nasdaq that we have equal lows all throughout the trading day, which is phenomenal. All right, so you know, I'm going to end my live show here. Unless you have any questions, I'll give you guys a few minutes. I think I explained my thought process on this one mm, with enough depth, for you to maybe understand what I'm trying to, or for you to understand my play here. But if you do have any questions, go ahead. I'll give you a few minutes before I log out. Orlando, I know you talked about that before, but could you please repeat the answer? Why would anyone create a signal group rather than keeping the signals exclusively from themselves? Money. Capital, mate. Capital. The only reason I'm doing this is because um, I am growing my capital. My end game is not to sell signals. My end game is not to sell courses. My end game is not this, right? By doing this, I create revenue, which allows me to grow my capital more rapidly and get to the end point more quickly. The answer is simple, mate. It's money, right? Yes, I'm not going to do this forever, but I had two options, right? I could grow my capital by only trading, or I could, create more revenue streams to grow my capital quicker. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, there's no, there's absolutely no, secret here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why, people, in this, business, run away from that question when it's quite simple. It's money, right? It's capital, right? Just imagine with an average growth of let's say 4.5% per month on average, right? You would be doubling up your money in about I, without withdrawing, I think it's a little less than 2 years. But if you have this other revenue streams that you can pump into that account, you know, um, it's a no-brainer. Hey Orlando, quick one. Dear, I was sent mail to learn to trade about Limp. You hope they can do anything or replace him. All right, that's what you need to do. Hey Orlando, quick one. You said Thursday you would not take a third trade after losing the first two. Has anything changed? Yes. No, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Yeah, I just took an extra trade today. Yeah, I just took an extra trade today. But you see the difference, right, between taking two trades and taking three trades per day. You see the difference. It's quite clear. Now, and I'm taking a fourth one with this Nasdaq long. I would normally I wouldn't normally take it, but this is an extremely good setup, right? Yeah. So if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to log out. Yeah, if you're a VIP member, I will keep you updated about this particular trade or setup, and if you're not, yeah, you won't get any updates. So, yeah, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.